Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Jurassic World Evolution 3, and today we are actually going to build two small aviaries for two small carnivores. For one's the Compsognathus and the other one will be the Moros Intrepidus. So let's get started. As you might know, the first habitat for Jurassic Zoological Garden was the Homalocephali, and I am really happy with the result of this habitat, and you guys also seem to love that because the video got quite a lot of views and a ton of comments, which I'm always super happy about, to just keep talking with you guys. And in the last episode, in the comments, a lot of my German fellow friends also commented that my accent is really German and that they could hear that I'm German. I've never made like a secret that I am German, but I still found it so funny that this time so many of you guys commented that I do sound like I'm from Germany, and I also kept talking with you guys in the comments in German, which was also super nice. So I just thought that it was really funny that so many of you guys commented that. And thank you all to all the comments, all the likes, and that you viewed this video. It means so much to me that these videos are doing so well right now on my channel and that I've gained so many more followers right now. So my motivation is still super high to keep on making videos for Jurassic World Evolution 3. Not only is the support on YouTube much better than for my previous videos, but I also feel like that building in GWE3 is so much easier and not that like sweaty, I would say. For the Planet Zoo habitats, I often took like 5 or 6 hours just building the habitat, and also like all the planning that went into that, and it just took so much time, and also the videos were much longer, so the editing took longer. I had to do much longer voiceovers than right now, and so I feel like it's so much easier now to build, because now my buildings take like maybe 2 hours. Besides the entrance took quite a lot, but this was a really big building. But the two habitats that I built right now, and this time I even built like 2 aviaries, it took me like maybe 2 or 3 hours in total for the whole building, also the interior or like the foliage of the habitat. So it just is so much easier for me to keep up with also the schedule of posting once a week. I don't pressure myself on needing to post once a week. I will post then when I have videos, and I just keep to not post more frequently than once a week, so I don't like burn out really fast with posting videos. But overall, I would say that playing this game, making content and posting on YouTube feels much lighter, I would say, right now, and there's not so much pressure and so much time that goes into that. So right now it feels like really good to play this game and also to create things for YouTube. My plan for this habitat or for this aviary basically was I just wanted to build a small aviary. The very first habitat was for a somewhat small herbivore, and now I also wanted to build for small carnivores. And right at the beginning, I wanted to build like a small aviary complex of multiple small carnivores, but I felt like only the Compsognathus and the Moros Intrepidus really fit into that, because the other species were like around a meter big. And these two species are much smaller, so I felt like these would be perfect for small aviaries. I am not exactly sure if it makes so much sense to put them in aviaries. They could have lived in like an open habitat, but I honestly just wanted to build a small aviary that was not for flying dinosaurs, so I don't really care. And I'm just super in love with how it turned out. In the beginning, I was only building this one aviary that you can see right now. I did plan on extending it to the right for the second species, and I also did plan to only put one of them into this habitat, put out the episode onto YouTube, and then do the second one. And I wanted you guys to decide which one should be the first episode, so what animal should be the first episode. But then I was like, the second one is gonna be like a lot of copy paste when it comes to the structure of the habitat, and also the interior would be really similar to the first one, since both of the species live more on like an arid and plain area. As far as from the information that I got from the game itself, it said that they like to like roughly around 50% arid and 50% plains. So I kind of stuck with that theme for the habitat, and since both of them would be really similar, I didn't really see the need to make two separate episodes, because they would have been basically the same and just more work for me, and probably the second episode wouldn't be as interesting for the guys that also have seen the first episode of the aviary. So I thought, why not just put both of them into one video, and it is still only like 20 minutes long, so I feel like this is still pretty nice. It's not like overly long, this video right now, and you have two habitats and two animals in one episode, which is also really nice. So I hope you enjoy the video of both of them. And also, as with the last episodes, the whole building and the aviaries is up on the workshop. You can find the workshop code down in the description. What I found is that when you upload things to the workshop, that the pathing is not also included, which kind of makes sense. I am not sure if there's a way to include the pathing, because for example, for my big entrance that I did, there's obviously a lot of pathing in there, and it does not copy with the blueprint, so you will have to manually put down all the pathing. I don't know if I should like do it like in Planet Zoo, make like a whole barrier around, so like a habitat barrier, and then upload it as an habitat, and then maybe the pathing will also be copied. At least that's how it worked in Planet Zoo, but I don't know if it also works in this game, since there are a lot of differences, I feel like, in both of the games, even though they are really similar and both from Frontier. So I would love if Frontier would do a lot of the features that we have in Planet Zoo to also copy them in this game. In the last episode I also said for like making a favorites tab for like plants and props and stuff like that, because right now I always need to scroll through the whole foliage section to find the plants that I like. And as I said, I also find it sometimes a little bit hard to know which pieces I like just from like the little pictures that we have on the left, especially since the background is also dark, and with like small pieces or like the dry bushes, I barely can tell which piece exactly it is, and I need to like click through all of them. So it would be nice if we can have like a favorites tab. For the foliage, I wanted to play around with the foliage brushes that we have, and I felt like this first arid brush, I would say, is really perfect for this one. I really liked it because of the color of the ground, all the grasses. I especially like the I would say natural grasses from the brushes a lot in this game. I hated the natural grass in Planet Zoo. It just looked really off and fake, and it just didn't look good. But in here I really like the natural grass, and especially since we don't really have a ton of grass pieces in the foliage tab, I feel like this is a really nice way to still get grass in there without like a lot of work. We do have this one bigger grass foliage piece that I also use in the Compsognathus Aviary, but I don't really like it that much. It looks good, but I feel like when the animals are walking through it, it moves really weirdly. At least that's what I've observed in the Homalocephaly habitat. I tried to use it there, but it just looked really weird when they walked over it. Basically, I do like that the foliage moves when the animals walk through it. I just like that they added this feature and it looks really realistic, but with this piece especially, it just looks weird. At least when you're lowering it into the ground, what I did, then it looks off. Maybe if you're just keeping it upright or like completely on the ground, and maybe if you're using it with bigger animals, it will not look that weird, but especially with the small animals that I used right now, it just looked off. So maybe we'll get more grass pieces with DLCs, at least I hope so, but for now I'm also really happy with using the brushes. As you can see right now, for the aviary barrier, I also use glass panels because it sometimes can be a little bit hard to see through fencing, especially if you're watching small animals that are like hiding in the grass. And the animals itself are sometimes not that good to see since they are so small, and the habitat is really lush, which makes sense so the animals can hide. But for the visitors it can be maybe a little bit hard to see, so I decided to add some glass panels in between so there's a little bit more of an undisturbed view. Unfortunately, we only have these skylight pieces from the roofs tab that are like actually see-through glass, and I do like them, but I wish we had also other glass pieces that don't have these like wooden things in between the wooden beams, so it's just one big glass panel with just like a frame around it. So it would have looked a little bit better for the purpose that I've used it now, because now the view is still a little bit disturbed because of these beams. It still works, but I wish we would also get more like completely glass panels without any beams or anything. For the background area and stages, I don't really do like the interiors. I right now just can't be bothered to make interiors for the backstage areas, and since we also cannot walk through doors, at least before the last patch, I actually, now that I'm talking about it, haven't tried to walk through doors with the last patch. So maybe if you try that, let me know, because then I might do interiors for the backstages. But at the same time, it's just much easier for me to build, and there's like not so much to do, especially these backstage areas did take a lot of time in the past for myself to build them and to design them, and especially with dinosaurs now, it might be a little bit hard to like think how you would do it, because for like actual animals that I've built for in Berlin Zoo, I could just read like educational papers on the internet on what the habitat should look like, what the holding pens should look like. So with dinosaurs, obviously I can't do that. I can like try to like compare them to real life animals that we have right now in zoos, and then to kind of copy paste it to the dinosaurs. But for now, I'm actually really happy that I don't have to build interiors for the backstage areas. And I'm actually just really pleased with only decorating like a little bit on the outside, as you can see here, like putting like trash bins and doors and little props and pieces to just hint that this is like a backstage area where staff can just care for the animals, clean and everything else. So for now this has to be enough, and I also know that there's like this complexity problem right now, I believe. I didn't even know beforehand that we have like a complexity in this game. So basically when your buildings and when everything or your whole zoo gets too complex, you cannot build, as far as I have understood that. I didn't even really look into that in detail, but I know that some people have like reached 100% complexity, and I know that some of my buildings, especially the bigger ones, for example the entrance, are really piece heavy. So I don't even know where I can check the complexity. Maybe you can tell me. And I do know, or at least I have read, that Frontier is working on that, so probably that you can build more and more complex and with more pieces, because I feel like especially for us content creators building in Sandbox, we do tend to use a ton of pieces. Right now we don't really have like a lot of really tiny pieces, but like in Planet Zoo we did, and I know one of my piece heaviest building was like a nocturnal house for small mammals, which included one habitat and 2 walk-through aviaries, and only the building itself, so only like the outside, the facade, and a little bit of the interior, like seats for the guests, and not including the habitat itself, it was already like 4,500 pieces, because the facade was so complex. I used like tiny wooden slabs and it was like a ginormous building. So I would love if we can do stuff like that in Jurassic World Evolution 3. So just build really complex things, especially since we are building for dinosaurs. We will be building really big buildings and habitats when we come to the big animals like the T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Brachiosaurus and stuff like that. They will be really big. And it would be a shame if we cannot continue a zoo because we've reached like maximum complexity. So I do hope they will fix that. Right now this zoo is still really small and I need to check how far I'm in the complexity, but I feel like we are going to reach that pretty fast. So I hope Frontier will fix it also really fast, so I don't have to figure out a way on how to continue the zoo when we've reached maximum capacity. If we will do like just habitats in like a different map, but that would be a shame if we can't complete the zoo. Now coming to the final details for both of the habitats, I do want to use like enrichment pieces for the animals, since I'm going more for like a real life zoo style. Even though we do have dinosaurs, I still want to have like a regular zoo and not like a Jurassic Park. So I do want to use enrichment pieces, but we don't have any. So I try to find a way to still use them, and for these two animals or dinos I did use these like tunnels. I am not sure how the piece exactly is called, and I thought they would be nice for like the animals to just crawl through, hide in there, since they are so tiny. I just thought that would fit really well for both of them. And then I also use these tires so they can like play around with them and stuff like that, but I couldn't really figure out anything else for them. And we are almost at the very end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and that you liked the way I designed the two aviaries. Leave a like if you did and comment what you liked best about the habitats and if you're going to use them for your own zoos. Now enjoy the cinematic shots that are about to come so you can see the finished result and the animals playing around in their habitats. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, bye!